Okay, sorry, I forgot to turn the light on. So, good morning, everyone. I'm leaving later than I normally wanted to, but I don't have as many hours I need to work today. So, hopefully, I work what I need to work today because I don't plan on working tomorrow. So, look, okay, yes, my hair still has the booties from yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I've got two buns sitting here. I even slept like this. I didn't even take them out because I just, that's just where I'm at with it. Like, leave me alone. I just want to say something, and I hate to be the one to say this, and it's going to sound so much like a gender war, but there's a couple of hee-haws. Ladies, I want you to lean in. Lean in. Listen. Listen. I need y'all to stop listening to some of these male podcasters. Now, I hate to go there because, I love the men, but a lot of these guys are ding-a-lings. Like, they are ding dogs. Now, I try to do a decent job of curating kind of the feed I want, but I don't always find a lot of success. Listen, if these men are not talking about you or bringing you on or exploiting you or whatever it is, they don't have a podcast, okay? They are hyper focused on you. But you have got to stop holding space for people who don't serve you. You have got to stop lending your body, lending, excuse me, your brand if you have one, lending your time and resources to men who don't care about you. Most of these men, if they cannot talk about sports, they have nothing to talk about unless it's exploiting you. I don't know why these women have yet to figure this out. I'm like, listen, and most of them have nothing to talk about. Nothing. At least the ones that keep in my feed and I keep swiping. You know how they say, swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Remember that back in the day from Dora? Well, I swipe immediately. Because I'm typically seeing these guys get up there and they have the little music in the background. They just want to, a good woman is one that when you come home, like, I'm like, shut up. And even if they are on something good, I just kind of feel like, why are you concerned about talking about women all the time? Good or bad? I need you ladies to learn something else. Think about something else. It's almost as if you're addicted to drama porn. It's like you're addicted to I don't know what it is, but I just know you need to do something else, talk about something else, like swipe on something else. These men cannot have a successful platform unless somebody is feeding it. I'm just saying. I have never seen so many dudes in my life get out here on Jesus's internet and want to talk about women so much. Now, I think the reason why they do it, I think there are reasons why I think they do it. One, they themselves are not multidimensional, meaning they don't have multiple facets of their lives. Like, no, I say that, of course, there's other assets of their life or facets to their life. What I'm saying is, I don't think that we value high functioning intellectual capacity in our culture, right? So I don't think that you're going to find these men challenging you or the culture in a manner in which that we're going to grow collectively. I think it's easy for them to sit there and fall back and just talk about women all the time. They don't have any other area where they can show a level of expertise, right? They can't. So what they do is they fall back on the easiest thing. They listen to everyone's same talking points. And then they get up there and then they just sound so stupid. It's so embarrassing. I'm gonna tell you another reason why I think they do it. I think the mommy issues are really prevalent. Sorry, I don't know why I'm trying to adjust my mirrors all of a sudden, even though I'm in Travis's car. Okay. I think there's mommy issues, right? I feel like many of them are trying, I don't know if they're trying to seek, like, they want to elevate themselves in the eyes of women and men. I think they want, like, to be elevated in the eyes of a woman. It's hard to explain because I'm not a psychologist, right? But I just feel like they need some form of affirmation. Like they need to be affirmed that like they're one of the good ones. I don't know. Like they are valuable to men to women. But I also think they're trying to prove their masculinity. Like I really feel like they think that denigrating women and talking a certain way makes them masculine, I think. At the end of the day, let me say something. Usually, like, you see this in nature, in your prime mating years, right? Men, from what I have observed, like, they want to, I call it like the peacocking or to show dominance or whatever. You look at what lions do, right? When they're out in the wild, they mark their spot with their, urine or whatever to claim dominance over land. I look at that similarly with men, like in human nature, right? When they sit down, they want to spread their legs and be all over the place. I'm like, can you stay contained? Like, okay. Like lions want to go mark their space, and they roar loudly, to let you know, like I'm here, right? And so oftentimes men will try to just out talk you like there's certain things that men do like right they want to dominate, they want to like have ownership of land and all that good stuff, and then when they want to and then they follow behind the woman, they want to mate, they want to have children, all that stuff, right? I think that men think, and I'm just guessing from what I observe, that's why it's the Black Opinionated Woman channel, that's why I'm a beau. I just feel like men think if I am overly, I don't know which word I want to use, male, like if I tell them, I'm leading by just telling them like how wrong they are, and like how women are supposed to serve men, and how great of a man I am. And I guess to me, and how I grew up, and don't get me wrong, I had a lot of dysfunction in my family. But the one thing I never saw men have to beat their chest, right? Like I never had to do that. You know what was interesting? When I met my husband, I was not interested in dating. And what ended up being the maid of honor of my wedding, she was like, "Go out on a date with this guy." When I met my husband, you know, he's a software developer. He does a lot of engineering stuff now, right? You would never know it. Like he went from being, Division One athlete, now he moved on with his life to being in software. And when I met him, it wasn't like he was a point Dexter, right? This man is 6'2", strong guy, plays sports, blah, blah, blah. And now he's doing something else with his life. And when I met him, he was cool. Like, he was just kind of like, hey, I see all the fellas trying to get all of your time, but, I'm trying to get your time. I was like, okay, cat. Like, but the interesting thing about him was, while everyone was doing, like, all this extra, like, he was just cool with it. He was like, I know they're trying it, but they're not me. But he wasn't, like, out here, like, let me roar. You know, when I met him, he was cool. He You know what? When we were dating, I remember I don't know what we were talking about. You know what I liked about him? This is kind of like a little bit of a tangent, but just roll it with it. When I met him, I remember after we had been dating for a period of time, I don't know how we got onto the topic of fighting. Right. We were talking about fighting or something. Something stupid. I don't know if it was something that we had seen on television or something out in the public. I don't remember that far back. But I do remember this comment he made. He said, I, these young guys are something. I'm going to say silly or whatever. He said, look, I don't do a lot of talking. I don't do a lot of talking. If I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it. And then and I was like, what do you mean? I remember we were talking about how he used to be a bouncer. He was like, yes, I know, I was a bouncer. He's like, everybody says they were a bouncer. He said, I used to, bounce a little bit for one, I don't know what it was. I need to make some extra money. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, my family was like, just cut off. He didn't really get a whole lot of money from his family or anything like that. They were just like, you're a man, go be one. So he was just making extra money on the side. I think he had his professional job by then, and I think he wanted to make extra money on the side. I don't know what he was selling, but he said, I remember when I was a bouncer, and everybody thinks they're tough. He was like, most of these people don't know what it's like to take a punch. He said, I was stupid as a bouncer too. I did a lot of stupid things. So he was like, I know what it's like to whoop some, you know what, and I know what it's like to get your behind whooped too. He was like, I've been jumped before, I've been stomped before. It's like, because I was an idiot. Listen, I'm talking crap, everybody's talking crap. But he was like, you know, as you get older, he's like, what do I look like out here fighting? He's like, now don't get me wrong, if I have to. He's like, but I'm too old to be out here fighting. He's like, that's what you do when you're young. He was like, but if I'm going to do something, I'm not going to talk about it. I know that. If I'm going to do it, he's just going to, it's like he's just going to speak him. He was like, the point I'm making was, he was like, I have no I don't need to go out of my way to prove anything. It's like, you'll find out. And I've only seen him maybe twice look like he had to say something to somebody in public because he's going to de-escalate. He's like, I'm too old for this. He's like, this was way back when. Like, now you don't got old and want to take naps. Heck, I want to take naps too and I can't. But he's like, to all of that. But anyway, the point I'm getting at is he never felt like he had to prove his masculinity. And also, people, when they see him, they recognize that. They're like, hey, what's up, big so and so? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he never felt like he had to prove anything. So when I see these podcasters out here, they look like they want to prove something. You'll get people coming across my feed sometimes talking about nonsense like they're, I don't know, they're trying to sound intelligent, but they just look like these, some of them look like these big yoked up weirdos, like overly big with the weird neck, and I don't know, the whole thing is weird. So ladies, I just want you to understand, stay away from some of these podcasters. Don't go on their shows. You don't have to even listen to half of the shenanigans just so you can try to, I don't know. It's like you're attracted to trauma porn, really. Like, just let it go. I noticed that when a lot of women, because we're not on here, if you look at the data, they say that men are actually on social media more than women. They make more content too, which is not the same nonsense. I look at what the content that many of the women are making, at least that comes across my feed. They don't sit there and talk about men all the time. They'll talk about something that's funny. Like they'll just have like a regular women's podcast. I've seen people get the whole trad wife movement where a lot of these women are making sourdough bread and Oreo cookies from scratch. So they're cooking something, crafting something, maybe a funny talk show type style. You'll see women are out here like, sing with me or harmonize with me. Like, they'll do all these things and people want to harmonize with them, or you'll see, like, I don't know, some people are just funny. They might be a little more of a comedian. Like, you'll see, like, different types of content. But man, they all just want to sit there with their weird hair or weird upper body that they overly made big, and then with the small lower body, like just want to make it seem like they're just this super manly man. I'm like, is that what you think masculinity is? Do you have mommy issues? So you're trying to get validation from women and men? I don't I know, mostly women, so like trying to prove that you're like a man. They're all thinking that they're this so-called high value. I'm like, you sound so dumb. I'm like, men who are about something are not doing that. Just like I feel like men who are hyper focused on she's gonna be a gold digger. I'm like, then you clearly are broke because men who have gold are not worried about women coming after their gold. Because they have it. They know that's part of their allure. They get it. They're like, that's part of what makes me, a high value man. Since we're putting labels on people, right? Is the fact that they're coined up, right? And I don't understand why men who don't have any gold want to sit there and be like, she's a gold digger. I mean, women are looking for security, physical security, all kinds of security. I talked about it in my previous video. So, men who have it, they know, in addition to them maybe them being highly educated or, I don't know, uh, athletic, so they're also coined up. Now, that's not to say that they should be someone only for their monetary resources, but the point I'm making is men of means are not worried about women wanting them for their money, right? Because that's part of the reason why they are attractive. They get it. But it's the ones who don't have any money. They're like, she just wants you for my money. I'm like, you don't have any. Because that whatever you have, you're concerned she's gonna take your last like little nugget. You have no gold. Shut up. But when you have influence or athleticism, when you are funny, when you are very intellectually stimulating, when you're going up, all those things. When you are in a position of power and you can show kindness, let me tell you how that is a very appealing thing. Very appealing. Um, There's so much I can say about that, but it's neither here nor there. I just want these ladies to understand about these whacked out weirdos on these podcasts. And I look at like things that come across my timeline. I'm like, everybody wants to sound like they're so deep. Sometimes it's not even deep. It's just like sometimes the way to move through life is very simple. The way people are saying, and this is the thing that tickles me the most. Now I want you to lean in on this for a second. Why is my phone phoning, doing weird things? This is the thing that tickles me the most about ladies. For those who are looking to be married, y'all will go listen to a man who's not married, by the way, but even if he was, you will go listen to an unmarried man tell you how to find a man. I'm like, do they have experience finding men? Because then that means they like the same thing you like, which means they're including you in their competition. No, no. Go to people who know how to find men. I would not go to a man unless he has experience finding husbands. Men can tell you what they like and what they think they want. They can't tell you how to find a husband. But these women are sitting there listening to these dinglings as if like their words are manna from the heavens. I'm like, why are you listening to men who have no experience on how to attract men? Unless they have experience on how to attract men, and you know where I'm going. So then that means you got another thing. Maybe you understand what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord Jesus. Anyway, that's it. Y'all need to start listening to these podcasters. They clearly are seeking validation. They're trying to affirm their masculinity, and many of them cannot be successful unless they have you. These men need women. And as much as they act like they don't like women, they need women. They know the only way that they can be successful, because they haven't figured out anything else on how to be dynamic, is women. They haven't figured out how to be dynamic. Now, are there men out there that can do other things? Absolutely. Absolutely. But most of what's out there, they're just like in another thing. Women, women, women. I'm like, okay. So I would just caution you. Why don't you swipe past some of these guys and maybe they will be forced to come up with something much more interesting to talk about instead of the same old gender war topics and them trying to sound intelligent because they're not. All right, look, I know you guys love me, so go ahead and just give this a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel. You know, I just entertain myself. If I were smart, I would actually look at my analytics and figure out what things that people like and don't like. But I don't even have the cycles to get caught up. I'm like, you either like the video or you don't. So, that's all I got. That's all I got. Have a good one.